guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Ready.
What's going on, everyone? AncAp24 here from HuddleGG. In today's video, we're going to talk about delay fades and how to stop them from a conceptual standpoint, and also want to talk about PA boot over, which is a play in which a lot of people request on having assistance on helping them stop because it's such a headache, because the delay fade is surrounded by a lot of overpowered routes. So it's one thing to stop a delay fade in itself, and it's another thing to stop a delay fade when you got to stop other routes as well. So this video is going to be something that I'm going to do a build-up approach. I'm going to talk about every little detail, really teach you the ins and outs of it. If you're type of person that needs to just know the end result, skip ahead in the video. I want to save your time. For those that want to know and get taught, I want to make sure that I give you every little understanding of why things work, so you can go ahead and duplicate this concept in different formations, not just the one that I'm telling you to use it out of, okay? So we're going to call PA boot over, and on defense, I'm going to show you Mike Blitz 3 out of 3-3-5 wide. The reason why I'm picking this play is because a lot of the components on stopping it is already built in, and the adjustments are a lot of quicker adjustments here to get it done. So this is just a time saver. That's why I use this play, okay? So what we're going to do is start off by just merely explaining why a delay fade is effective for some of the players that are just getting into Madden. And what you have to do it, you just take the A, you're going to put the tight end and put him on a hot route where you put the right stick up for a delay fade. What he is able to do is he's able to block initially, and then you as a quarterback have the ability to send him up the field by pressing his icon again, which in this instance is A. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell him to stop being a blocker, go be a receiver, and go up the field on a fade route. Why this is really OP is because you get to choose it, and if the middle opens up, you basically send him out. If not, you got an extra blocker, okay? Now, the first method that people are going to tell you, and this is a good method, is to man up the tight end. And I'm going to show you an experiment just to make sure you understand why this is a good method and why it's flawed to a certain degree, okay? And the experiment I'm doing right now is I'm going to man up pretty much every single player that can be manned up on him, and show you how this works in terms of the computer programming, okay? So what's going to end up happening, I want to make sure I explain it first so you can see it, is that when you man him up, those players are going to go at the tight end and read that he's a receiver, right? And at a certain time, there's a timer on this, the program is going to switch and says he's no longer a receiver, he's a blocker. And once that happens, they're going to green dog effect, which basically means they're going to blitz after the quarterback when they know that their man that they're supposed to cover is a blocker. That can be manipulated by the offense by just delaying time. And I'm going to do that on this play just so you can see that you've got the ability to just basically buy a little bit of time. They're covering him. Now they're not covering him. We throw this ball to him, and you're going to get yourself an easy catch, okay? Now I'm going to show you this on instant replay so you can understand why this happens and when it happens and why you feel like you've probably felt like your guy didn't react the way he wanted to, right? So here's the tight end. And what you're going to see is that all these players are going to converge on him. They are right now all covering a man-to-man. They're not blitzing me, see? They're covering a man-to-man, At a certain point, when the timer hits, you're going to see that they all go after my player. See how they all go here? And when they do that, that's going to let your opponent know that they can go ahead and release this guy up the field, throw it to him, and they get the easy catch, okay? So simply put, man coverage is good if you have the ability to get more players at the quarterback and shorten his time in the pocket, right? If you're not sending a blitz, if you're not sending somebody to take away the quarterback's ability to delay time, man coverage is not a viable solution. And because it's going to break down. And I want to make sure you understand that, okay? So let's go with the better solution. A better solution is going ahead and putting a 3-rec on the field. Why a 3-rec? Well, with a 3-rec, what ends up happening is that you're going to have the ability to cover basically from the line of scrimmage to about the 15-yard mark, okay? And which is nice because what you're doing is you're delaying the ability once the fade goes up the field for the quarterback to throw it to them. They've got to wait extra time before they're able to get it to them, but eventually they're going to be able to get it to them. And I want to make wait. Now you can see I can still throw it to here to about the 25, 30-yard mark, and that's going to get frustrating, right? What you'll notice is that the 3-rec actually does a really good job of making sure that the player waits. So if you have somebody that's on a spy, potentially, and you can send the spy, or you have delayed blitz, or you know that you've got some, really good defensive linemen that can kind of get to the quarterback in time, a 3-rec is all you need to hold up on the delay fade. See how he covers them, he's covering them, probably up to, it started off from the 40-yard line to the 40-yard line. So you say 20 yards of coverage you've got, right? Let me make sure I got this here. 20 yards of coverage, but as soon as that breaks down, this guy's going to be able to be open in the middle of the field, and that's going to get frustrating. And that really depends on how much, pressure you get to the quarterback. The problem with delayed fades is a lot of times people are putting them on plays that have a lot of other headaches to cover, like this PA boot play. Now, what I'm going to suggest as the best way to cover a delay fade is to stack zones. The stack zone is very simple. It's 3-rec and a mid-read. Okay? That's going to cover from, the 3-rec's going to cover up to about the 15, 20-yard mark, and then the mid-read's going to cover to about the 25, 30-yard mark. And by the time you throw that ball, the free safety in the deep blue is going to be able to come down. There's no holes. In this type of situation, we'll talk about, players to user at this point. You're going to user one of these outside linebackers, depending on which side you want to Mabel, and we'll get into that later, right? So I'm just going to leave this as it is, just so you can see it. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead, cut this off. We're going to release the player. And you can see that he's going to get up the field. And I don't get it there, but I want to show you the levels of coverage that you would have had. And by stacking the zones, you're going to be able to basically just cut off all this, right? So what this does is the 3-rec is going to cover that initial spot. We're going to talk about this, right? Now this seam flat, I'm taking him off the field because the reason why is if anybody goes left, he's going to be in the left. So don't worry about that seam flat. This 3-rec right here is going to get him there. And then what you're going to see is that if you were to look at this, you've got levels. This guy's got the next level. This guy's got the next level. There's no way this delay fade is going to be covered, right? So just by putting a 3-rec from a lineman and a mid-read by a linebacker, you're going to get this covered. Now, what if you're in a formation that doesn't, a play that doesn't have it? So it's called cover 3 buzz. We don't have a 3-rec. You can just take the lineman here and bluff blitz him. When you bluff blitz him, he becomes a 3-rec. You go ahead and put this guy in a mid-read, and then say you're using this guy, right? I'm just going to blitz him so you can see it. So, but I want to make sure you understand that there are ways to make this work if you don't have this formation or you don't have a 3-rec on the field. You just bluff blitz the guy, and you're going to be in good shape, right? So I'm just going to do this so you can see it. We're going to release this guy. They can't cover him there. And you can see here, by the time this gets there, you got people right there for you. So I want to make sure you understand that the 3-rec mid-read are good options when it comes to being able to stop this. Now, let's talk about this play in general, okay? Why this play is so tough is that you've got to have to stop the B that goes across the field, the Y that goes at a really nice depth, and then you've got the X that splits the middle of the field in case you don't cover the middle of the field. So what I'm going to suggest and make sure that you understand, this is my favorite way of stopping this with the delay fade. I'm going to go to coaching adjustments, and I'm going to go curl flat to either 25 or 30 yards, right? And I'm going to go to the flats. I'm going to do 10 yards. Now that sounds, why 10 yards? That first initial route that goes across the field, he goes at a much bigger depth. And when we put the 3-rec and the mid-read on the field, it actually kind of takes him away from his route and it goes a little bit further. So we don't want to have like a 5-yard hard flat. We want to have a deeper hard flat, okay? And then what we're going to do here is pick the mid 3. What is it called? It's called Mike Blitz 3. And let's call this here just so you can see it. And this is how we're going to stop this play and how I have a lot of success with this play in particular of stopping, okay? So we got this all set up. And that's typically how most people are going to do it. And what we're going to do is we're going to, first and foremost, we're going to play over the top coverage. Then we're going to put the A and we're going to put them on a hard flat. So now we've got 30 yards here and we've got 10 yards here. So the 10 yards is going to take away the B. This guy is going to take away the Y. Now you got to worry about the delay fade, which we already have this 3 rec on his spot, and then we're going to put the Y on a mid read. And what that also does is gives you the opportunity to stop any of the crossers early, and the X goes across the field. Now, the last route, this is the guy in which I'm going to use her. If I see all 3 players going to the right, then I know I'm in good shape. All I got to do is basically, kind of cover, almost run as a spy as far as an offensive, as a player, if they want to run. If I see that I've got enough players, if I can send a spy, I basically just cover as I go across the field, right? If I see that the A stays in, that's the delay fade. If I see that he's doing a drag, I'm covering him. If I see that he's doing a post, I'm covering him. I'm typically looking at the 3 left receivers. If they go right, I have responsibility for the quarterback or the tight end, okay? So that's what I'm doing there. But I want to make sure I'm just going to take off of him and show you how this works and why this works as a play. You already know that the delay fade's going to get covered. The B gets covered. The Y gets covered. Everything's covered. At this point, what I want to make sure is that as a user, I'm coming out of the quarterback. That's why I say that I'm almost as a spy, because you're not needed in the play if this is the play design. If you guys watched the Bears Club Championship with Stiff against Canes were in this play almost exclusively, and I know a lot of people do in Weekend League because it's that tough to stop a lot of times. So what you're going to see again is the first route you always got to cover, from progression wise, is this guy. If you have that hard flat at 0 or 5, this guy will definitely have the opportunity to get over the top of his head. He doesn't at 10. Now this guy right here is somebody that that is going to get covered initially by the 3 rec, and then it's going to cover by the mid read as far as trying to get in that little spot. Then he goes across the field, and they're not going to be able to throw this right here. And now you've got that 30-yarder that's got him right there. This guy's getting covered all the way down the field as well. And you can see that maybe on the initial break, but if they do that, this guy's going to have a good opportunity to go there. If you want to ensure that it does it, you can move that guy up a couple steps, and you can see that you got everything bagged. So as a user, it's going to be this player right here, right? You're going to be looking at those guys. Once you see all 3 of those guys go to the right, you know that you're good. You're not going to get blocked. You're going to come across here, and you're going to basically come and you're going to make sure that if this guy rolls out, you're coming at him because you got everything else covered. And that's basically how I stopped this play. So I kind of wanted to just show you from a perspective of knowing how to stop delay fades and then knowing how to stop this. I'm going to go over it one more time just in case you didn't get it the first time. Real simple. You're going to play over the top coverage. You're going to take your right linebacker on the right and put him on a hard flat. You're going to take your middle linebacker, put him on a mid-read, and you're going to user this player, and you're good to go. If you want to pass commit, that's going to help you as well, and that just gives you that opportunity. And I'm going to show you this time with this player as the user. You can see that this guy's going to go, I'm trying to use 2 controllers here, but you can see everything's going to get bagged. It's just one of those deals to where you as a user is going to follow the quarterback. If he's rolling right, you stay with him. If he stays in the pocket, you don't have to roll right because he may have another route on the field. So hopefully this helped you guys. I know this is a question a lot of people ask, and I wanted to make sure I addressed it in a more public atmosphere so more people can benefit from it. I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on tomorrow's video.